Hello everyone. According to course guidelines, historians must be objective and honest in their investigations. That is my intent with the discussion for this week, while I dive into the Catholic Church in the United States and give a background of its growth and times of decline from the founding of America to now, while also discussing important factors of the denomination and some issues it has encountered along the way. The Catholic Church has been in existence in the United States since the arrival of French and Spanish missionaries in the 16th and 17th centuries, before the United States was even really the United States. Now, the Spanish established a number of missions in what is now the western part of the United States. The most important French colony was New Orleans. The first Catholic Mass held in the current United States was in 1526. The Catholic population of the United States began to grow during the first half of the 19th century, mostly due to Irish and German immigration. According to Chester Gillis in the work Roman Catholicism in America, Protestant America was often critical of the newcomers, believing one could not be a good Catholic and a good American at the same time. Many Catholics stopped practicing their religion or became Protestants due to these criticisms, according to Chester Gillis in the work. However, by 1850, Roman Catholicism was the largest denomination in the United States. Between 1860 and 1890, the population of Roman Catholics in the United States tripled, primarily through immigration and high birth rates. By the end of the century, there were 12 million Catholics in the United States. Now, Catholicism experienced a sharp decline in the 1960s and 1970s due to a decrease in the number of men and women entering religious life, which led to fewer priests and sisters staffing parochial schools and parishes. Now, it's important to note that few Catholics of any substantial number lived in the colonies at the time of the American Revolution. Therefore, the carols of Maryland, including John, Charles, and Daniel, became symbols and represented the American Catholics at the time of the founding. As a participant in the Constitutional Convention, Daniel Carroll held much weight, but he would never equal or offer the importance that Charles Carroll, as a signer of the Declaration, and John Carroll, as first Archbishop in the United States, offered. Later in time, an important thing to note about the Catholic Church in America is that it was one of the few institutional voices that opposed Roe v. Wade and the decision at the time it was made. Though a majority of Catholics have agreed with the order in their firmness on legal protection of the unborn, some have not, leading to recurrent controversies concerning the responsibilities of Catholics in American public life. In the late decades of the 20th century, the Catholic Church in the United States saw another decline as it was trying to recover from the sexual abuse crisis. The Catholic Church became a subject of controversy around this time due to allegations of clerical child abuse of children and adolescents, which caused the number of participants in the Roman Catholic Church to decline. The United States Church instituted reforms to prevent future abuse by requiring background checks for church employees. Because the vast majority of victims were teenage boys, the worldwide church also prohibited the ordination of men with deep-seated homosexual tendencies. It now requires dioceses faced with an allegation to alert the authorities, conduct an investigation, and remove the accused from duty. There are two subjects that are key to understanding Catholic faith: the preambles of faith and the motivation of faith. The preambles of faith include those rational steps through which the believer reaches the conclusion that belief in God is reasonable. The freedom of faith is respected by affirming that such a conclusion is as far as the preambles can take one. Therefore, the preambles leave one free to accept faith or to reject it. Another aspect that's significant in the Catholic Church is the sacraments, such as baptism, confirmation, the Eucharist, reconciliation, and the anointing of the sick. In closing, the Catholic Church has been a very important part of American history. It's also important to note that during the time of the American Revolution, few Catholics were substantial with the exception of the Carrolls. A unique factor to this religion is also noted in the presence of the sacraments practiced. I hope this gives everyone some insight into the Catholic Church in America and its progression through the history of America. Thank you.